Hello and welcome to One Man, One Mic at WHSK. This is Chris at Commonwealth University Bloomsburg, and today we're going to be talking about a fun little topic regarding social media. So recently, social media has been on the rise, and with that rise, it's come with a bunch of new challenges for us to endure and navigate, leading to things like changes in self-image, changes in maybe how we interact with each other and how our relationships bloom and mold to all the different interactions we have. So today I have three lovely interviewees I am bringing on today, and we're going to see what they have to say regarding social media and their experiences with it. First, I would like to introduce Sarah Dobson. She is a sophomore at Bloomsburg, and I particularly chose her because she is a part of a sorority, so she might have different experiences in that regard. And growing up, she's had a lot of interaction with social media, specifically YouTube, so just seeing how that might have affected her. So now, on to the interview. I would like to welcome our first guest on this podcast, Sarah Dobson.
Hey, Chris.
So, Sarah, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm 20. I'm a media and journalism major, and my favorite forms of media are YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram.
How often do you use social media? Like what's your...
Ooh, I have a time limit on my phone now for
Same.
TikTok and Instagram
Dude.
for an oddly specific amount of time.
How long?
2 hours and 12 minutes. Yeah, I don't know. Don't worry about the 12 minutes. I just thought, like, I would listen to it if it was, like, specific.
Yeah, no, I get you. All right, well, let's get into the questions, shall we? So, how do you feel social media has impacted your relation to others, and how has that in turn affected you?
I would say since I consume so much media, and because of when growing up, Vine was so popular.
Oh, yes.
And everyone was quoting Vines, that, like, culture stuck with me, and I haven't left, like, quoting culture. Like, I literally can't. I can't go for, like, a solid portion of time without making a quote. Or, like, referencing back to something. Even if people don't know it, I'm gonna say it and then be like, guys, you know what I'm saying, right?
All right, so how has social media impacted the way you see yourself, either physically or otherwise?
Growing up as a girl, body image is really hard to begin with.
Yes.
And then you add a whole nother layer of, like, super skinny women on the internet. It is not good for a little girl to see that. But other than that, I mean, it really didn't affect me much. I watched a lot of, like Minecraft content growing up. So I was just, like, a weirdo.
Yeah.
You know, like, I was just a freak.
Yep. Amen.
But I looked normal, but, like, I was...
There was something going on
Yeah,
the inside.
I had, like, a dark side.
Oh, yeah. Your dark side was Jacksepticeye.
Yeah. Yeah, it was Jacksepticeye and Markiplier. And
Yeah.
Sky does Minecraft. Hello.
Oh. How have other people's trips, so, when they go abroad and they post about their trips, how has that, like, affected you in any way? Like, seeing those posts, like, how does that really make you feel?
Yeah, I have no real feelings towards it. I really just go, oh my gosh, pretty pictures, yay!
Right,
And
right.
I just like as long as it's cute and aesthetic to their, like, page, I'm like,
Mm-mm.
yes, I love seeing this. Give me more content. That's really it.
Now, what are the typical, like, posts that your friends, post, and how do they, like, affect you? Like, how do you feel? Like, is it, if it's a bunch of people in one, do you got FOMO at all?
I don't think I really feel... Oh, I think it would really depend on the friend. Like, I saw a post over winter break of a group of my friends hanging out, and I was like, oh, weird that I wasn't invited. But then I looked closer and I was like, oh, there's friends in there that I don't know, which means that they didn't set up the plans. My friends didn't set up the plans. It was the friends that I don't know.
Right.
So I was like, oh, I'm sad. Oh, actually, I don't care at all.
You gotta look into it, and it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, I don't think it really affects me. But the sheer amount of stories that some of our mutual friends post, I
Yeah.
respect it crazy style, but I'm also like, hey, Diva,
Yeah.
go to bed. I love it. I'm gonna watch all of them. Go to bed.
Now, like, have you felt like FOMO was worse when you were younger?
I don't think so. I really, truly only cared about YouTube when I was a kid. Like, I really was just like, oh my gosh! Like, not glued to my screen, but, like, I've always been, like, a chatty kid, but like in elementary school, I
Right,
never
right, right.
hung outside of school with people. I would go to
Mm-mm.
soccer,
Yeah.
and then I would play like video games online with friends, or I'd watch YouTube. I really did not do much, and I really did not care about people.
Do you think of yourself differently whenever you interact with social media posts?
I think it depends on like
What you see?
which social media I'm on.
Mm-mm.
If I'm on like Instagram, it like makes me feel very like not derealization kind
Right,
of vibes,
right.
but like something along the lines where I'm like, ooh, I'm looking at my hands and I'm like, oh my god, I'm a person and I'm gonna die one day. Very existential. There we
Yeah,
go.
there you go. There you go.
Very existential because of Instagram Reels. It's a really dark place on Instagram Reels.
But then other times it's not. Like my
Yeah, or
Instagram
then I
reels.
get cute like little like fashion videos and I'm like, yay! I love fashion.
Go. Has there ever been something you've liked, but have been turned off to by social media?
Politics.
Tell me
Or
about
just like not even just like specifically politics, but like right now we're in like a very interesting place to be in the world, and
Yeah.
a lot of people are boycotting certain companies, and because of our surroundings, I fear it's hard to also participate. Hey, I really need to get groceries.
that. Right.
I could go to Aldi's. I don't go grocery shopping until 10 p.m. You know?
Yes.
It's purely just like the convenience of certain places, and I'm like, I feel like a bad person walking into Walmart.
It almost
So-
adds like
It adds like a sense
pressure.
of guilt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or like a whole nother level of like consumer mindfulness.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm like, all of these other people are doing it. I need to lock in.
Mm-hmm. Has there ever been like an interest of yours that you haven't like been involved in, but then all of a sudden see it online, you're like, oh, I want to get involved with that.
I don't know. I'm trying to think about like all of the like phases I've ever gone through, because I know a big one was 2020 TikTok. They got really into anime in 2020, and I had already liked anime for a while, so I was like, all of these fakes and phonies. So like I would have gone. I don't know what big trend I would say I have followed.
Mm-mm.
I mean, like probably like music. That's like definitely a big
Mm-mm.
one.
That-
I
yeah.
hear like good
See.
songs on like TikTok or Instagram Reels, and I'm like, ooh, I'll add that to my playlist.
But other than that,
Yeah,
Yeah.
other than that, I don't really think so.
I guess it is pretty like curated. So like
Yeah.
if you don't have that interest, they probably won't be showing it to you.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of like sewing and like fashion videos. I like fashion. My outfits don't always show that I like fashion, and I also don't know how to sew.
Our last question: are you less afraid of confrontation while using social media? Like, does the medium
like
of
an
social media?
like an anonymous posting, or
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like
yeah.
or like the fact that it's not face to face in general. I don't comment on like anything because
Same.
I worry about my digital footprint no matter what I say. The other day I commented on a post, and one of my sisters, like one of my sorority sisters, screenshotted it and sent it to me, and I went, oh god, why can you see this? I don't remember what I said. Oh,
It's humbling.
People know. Okay, and I already humble myself enough. I don't need other people. Like, I don't need to be giving other people reasons
Mm-mm.
to humble me more. I fear
Yeah.
is my problem. However, I will say, like, I love Yik Yak. I love Yik Yak. Like severely love Yik Yak.
I don't have
actually.
Yik Yak.
You're missing out. I just like get to hear all of everything that is going on, and it's so very nice.
Mhm.
Especially because Yik Yak is so localized to like our
Yeah, yeah,
college
yeah.
campus. I really really like that.
Do you like constantly feel like a need to know everything going on, whether it be?
To a degree, I would
Mm.
say, yeah. I feel like I need to be informed or I have failed.
That's-
if that
yeah.
makes sense. But I'm
Yeah.
also like, nah, I don't really give. I don't really care. Like,
Yeah.
I'll survive.
Because I think it goes back to like what you were talking about earlier with like boycotts and
Yeah.
like with how that stuff works now, and it's like if you don't know to do this, you're kind of shunned.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you not know that?
And I'm like, well,
And I mean,
sorry.
there is kind of like a sense of hostility too.
Mhm. Oh,
it's
for
like,
sure. Because of like how bad our our socio-economic, political,
Yeah.
whatever
And how
environment is right
divided
now.
it is.
Yeah, it's so bad because there's so many of us that are just like sitting in the gray, where
Yeah.
I'm just like, I just want to survive. I didn't vote for this, and I can't do more than what I'm already doing.
Right.
I've already put in as much energy as I physically can give.
Mm-mm. Well, thank you. That's all the questions I have for you.
No, thank you, Chris.
Oh, stop it, you. You were a lovely first guest.
Thank you.
Thank you. Please come back.
No.
Please.
Okay. You convinced me.
Yes! Sarah truly was quite a lovely guest. She also brought a lot of good points to the dialogue, like discussing how body standards were interacted with when she was so young and her fixation on YouTube and how it's kind of affected how she interacts with things today. And I think it's also something to be noted that social media now can bring a new form of kind of social pressure, or not, maybe not new, but a different form of social pressure than what people used to have to deal with. Like, it's more frequent and our interaction with it is more often than that of what earlier generations had to deal with. And I think Sarah just really brought out some good points in that argument. Now, on to our next interview, in which we are talking to the lovely Eric Wood, who is a freshman here at Bloomsburg. And I think he has some great topics he discusses, and his perspective is really unique because he's more athletic and he goes outside and interacts, outside more often than maybe some of us do on a day-to-day basis. So seeing his perspective on social media and how he interacts with it, I think is really unique, and I think you will very much enjoy it. All right, so I would like to introduce our next guest on this podcast, Eric Wood. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, my name is Eric Wood. I am a media and journalism student at Bloomsburg. I enjoy the outdoors. I like hiking. That's a good basic rundown of me, I guess. Yeah. All right, let's rock.
Let's get right into it. How do you feel social media has impacted your relationship to others, and how has that then affected you?
I mean, I don't think it's really impacted many of my relationships in the sense that like I don't use it all that much for anything but just keeping up with people, kind of like seeing what they're up to, seeing what they're doing. There's nobody really on my social media that I don't want there. Like people can follow me. Like my accounts are public. I don't post anything that I'm like ashamed of. But I like all the people that I follow and that show up on my feed are people that I care to follow. So it's kind of, it hasn't really affected any of my relationships. If I'm not into something, I won't follow it.
How about your relationships from high school? Like, how about all your friends from high school? Has social media helped?
I think it honestly, yeah, it's kind of helped keep in touch without keeping in touch. Like, I don't have to make an effort to reach out to everybody all the time because, like, they can see what I'm doing when I post it, and I can see what they're doing. It's kind of nice to, like, just to see what everybody's up to post-graduation. It's kind of social media gives us an interesting opportunity to explore, like, other people's lives without without having to pick up the phone and talk for hours. Like, it just kind of, you can get a quick catch up on what everybody's up to, which is nice because, like, I mean, the world today is so busy, so it's like, it's a good way to just speed up that process of catching up.
Now, how has social media impacted the way you see yourself? So, like, physically or otherwise?
I mean, it hasn't really had an impact on me. The interesting thing I'll say about, like, my posts, at least, like, when I reflect on my posts, I just see how much change I've gone through, both, like, physically and, like, and I guess, like, emotionally. Like, I'll like, a certain post will be tied to a certain point of my life, and it's just interesting to look back. It's almost like a timeline of, like, where I was when what was happening in my life, and it kind of honestly helps me keep track of my own life. In almost like a biographical sense, where it's like, oh yeah, this is what I was doing in 2020, and this is what I was doing in 2025. Like, oh, and this is what happened in between this, that. There's some older posts with people that I don't talk to anymore, really. No bad blood. It just, like, it happens. People drift.
Right.
So, but it's still nice to have, like, those posts there as kind of like, oh, I remember that. That was cool.
Right. It's like a little time capsule.
Yeah, it's like a time capsule, and I feel like that's something other generations didn't really have, that we have an interesting chance to play around with as we age
Right.
in this whatever world.
Their closest thing is like photographs. Like, oh, here's
Yeah.
me and Grammy.
And like my Instagram, like yes, it is photos, but there's captions.
Right.
It's so much
There's-
more. It's linked. It's like
There's
it's links
comments,
my
like
it's
you'll
just
see
it's
comments
it's
that are
so
like,
it's so interesting.
right. Like the whole lingo is different. It's like, wow, that was a time.
Exactly. It's,
It's
so
like,
it's so cool to
wow,
look at. It's
I
like,
talk
wow.
like that.
Yeah. Or it's like, wow, I look like I'm 5 in this photo. Like it's
Wow.
just crazy looking over time.
All right. So how does seeing like other people's like vacations, whether it be, in the States or abroad, affect you? Like,
I kind of love it. Like seeing what at least people like like I said, like I only follow people that I like care about, and like it's cool to see people that I like doing shit that they like.
Right.
It's just cool. It's like, wow, okay, like yeah, that's awesome that you went there, or like you did this. Like that's a cool accomplishment. Honestly, there's sometimes like there's some things that I wish people posted more, which is a crazy thing to say because some
Really?
people be posting, some people be posting
Oh, yeah.
all the time.
oh yeah.
But like, when you get like unique opportunities and stuff, I feel like it's cool to share it online because then it's like you can keep up with people in a different, more almost intimate way without. You can intimately keep up with all of the people that you're close with instead of just like, oh, I'll have to say all of this stuff that I've done to every single person.
Right.
So honestly, I kind of appreciate seeing what people are doing. I will say the only thing that it makes me like feel like any negative feelings
Yeah.
aren't real. They're not even that negative. It's just like, oh shit, I should do more.
Right,
like,
right.
why am I like if I'm bed rotting on Instagram and I'm just like,
It's like,
doom scrolling and I'm like,
Damn, I could
oh
be out there.
shit, this person's in like Croatia doing some awesome like
Right, that could
they're
be
seeing
me.
the most beautiful things. Why am I sitting on the couch
Right.
doing nothing? So if anything, it's a nice opportunity to be like, oh, I should go and like do something fun today
There's
or
more
do
out
something
there I
active.
could do.
It's
Mhm,
yeah, which is I feel like that's kind of it's a more unique take. Not everybody sees it that way, but I don't know. I enjoy seeing what people are up to.
Yeah, and then it gives you a sense of urgency to do something yourself.
Yeah,
which
like,
is good and
For
bad.
for example, like I would never have known that my friend Leah she surfs. Did not know that.
That's
Didn't know
crazy.
that. She goes to North Carolina Coastal, like one of
Mm-hmm.
those really pretty schools next to the ocean. And I didn't know she surfed, but she was posting about it, and it was like 3 months like surfing, and I'm like, oh, that's so
That's
cool.
insane.
And like it kind of opened up a conversation like with
Yeah.
someone that I hadn't talked to for a while. I was
Yeah,
like,
I
dude,
love
I didn't
that.
know you surf. That's really sick.
Yeah, that's what I find. Like people will post their story and like I'll just comment on it, and it opens up a whole conversation. It's like yeah, no, that's an awesome thing you did, or like no way you went to this, and then it's like oh yeah, how have you been by the way, and then it just
Yeah, it's just
it
it's
creates
neat.
dialogue.
Yeah, it's just it's fun to kind of, and you can reminisce and like and you
Yeah,
can talk
yeah,
about like,
yeah.
oh my god, so you're like, what's up with like where you're at? How's the weather in God knows where? It depends on who. Everybody's at a different place, but like it's neat.
Now, what kind of posts do your friends typically post, and like how do those different posts affect you?
Let's go. Let's go see. I'm gonna
Okay,
take a look because
okay.
I actually come to think of it, like I have no idea. Let's go with. I'll go with my best buddy Andrew. It's mostly group pics or
Mhm.
vacation pics. Like graduation. There's some
Right,
nice
right, right.
group pics. He didn't post our Disney trip. That bastard. He should have. But it's like a lot of like events or like cool things like there's on back in 2023 we went to the beach together. There's a beach trip post and it's like a group pic and then there's some pictures of the water. He has a Mandalorian costume, so there's a picture of him in that, which is pretty sick.
That is pretty awesome.
Some real estate work stuff that we did. Some pretty pictures of I think he was out in Utah and like he posted travel pics. It varies honestly. Nobody I know really posts on like, oh, it's a random Tuesday and I'm just sitting in bed. Like it's
Right.
there's always kind of something going on to warrant a post, an event or like end of a semester or like celebrating something. And those are like they're fun to see.
Yeah. And I think it adds kind of personality to it, because like if you are at the same event, you kind of get to see their angle of how they saw
Yeah,
it and
yeah.
post what they think is important. and getting all that different good stuff, for lack of a better term.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's fun. That kind of did put into perspective, like, yeah, no one really posts to post. Like, they post to, like, share an event.
I feel like the exception is like our parents' generation.
Yes.
But not all of them. Like, I take my parents, they don't post. My dad has an Instagram, and it's the funniest thing because it's blank. He doesn't even have a profile pic or a bio.
Oh,
It's
wow.
Just,
He
it's
looks
just
like a bot.
Paul Wood. And he follows like me and my mom and like family members. It's linked to his Facebook, which is full. Like, he uses his Facebook, but he doesn't use it that often. He doesn't even post for like major holidays, but he'll post like if we do something cool as a family, like something out of the ordinary, or go on a vacation. He'll post a vacation post, like.
That's sweet.
But then there's like my aunts. Some of my aunts, I love them to death, but they'll post just like, "This is my dinner," and I'm like, "Why? Why your dinner?" I feel like that opens up like, that's what your story is for almost. But when I'm scrolling back through like your posts, I don't care what you were eating on like January 4th,
Right.
2008. Like, nobody's looking, but I do care about like if there was like an event you attended or like a convention or something cool like that. Like, I hate when a feed gets bogged up with all of this like
kind of
filler posts.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Filler posts. Now, has there ever been something you have liked but have been turned off to by social media, or vice versa?
Like, not really, but I guess the closest example would be like I love Star Wars, diehard Star Wars fan. I've enjoyed it since I was little, and just people on the internet are just such assholes sometimes.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, can't you just let it be, man? It's for like, it's basically for children, and I don't care because I love it. But it's like, why are you taking it so seriously? And they'll be like, that episode was bad, and I'm like, no, it wasn't. It was fun. All right, enjoy.
Like,
Where's the whimsy at? Enjoy
Right.
yourself. Like,
everything is too close, too quick to be like, that
everybody's
that
got
sucks.
problems with everything, but it's like, just enjoy it.
Now, are you less afraid of like confrontation online while using social media, or do you like?
Honestly, if anything, I'm more afraid of it because it's there forever.
Right.
Like,
Digital footprint.
if I were to get angry on social media and call someone like an asshole or something, like, that's permanent.
Right.
And like, yeah, you can apologize, but it's still there.
Right. It leaves a, and like you see a lot of like celebrities or like famous people who like get stuff dug up on them.
Everything like said on the internet is there. That's where it lives. That's where it
Right.
can be screenshotted, shared, posted. So if anything, like if I've got beef with someone, I'm not gonna comment on like my business, and like my business with someone else is our business. It's not like the world's business.
Right.
So I feel like confrontation online is stupid. But like then again, like political discussions, I feel like I wouldn't say anything online that I wouldn't say in person, especially when it comes to like a political dialogue.
Yeah.
But like a lot of people do just go crazy. And just say things that they would never say to someone's face, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, dude, what are you doing?
They
Like,
just they go
just,
buck
like,
nutty.
if you're not able to stand up for it, like,
Right.
face to face, why bother? Like, why waste your time?
But then even then, it's like the core principle of if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you weren't adding to the conversation here. You were just being an ass.
And that's like a problem we run into a lot. Is like it's so hard to have like meaningful dialogue with people that you disagree with.
Yeah.
It's just a difficult thing to do in whatever world we live in, especially online, because people get so heated.
Yeah.
Whereas like in person, people tend to have a bit more courtesy and like respect for one another.
Yeah, because it's like that face to face. It's less anonymous when you're face to face with someone, and it's like, I think being online removes a sense of humanity that is kind of needed for conversations, especially when discussing differing ideas.
Yes.
So then the conversations typically divert towards screw you.
Yeah, it's
rather
just like
than-
it's just like a waste of effort. Like, it's just like,
Yeah, because truthfully, it's not often that you're gonna change someone's opinion.
no. But if you can have a reasonable discussion and be like, hey,
Right.
why do you see it this way?
And
And if they can
understand it.
explain, and if you can explain, it's just like, maybe one of you will get something out of it. Maybe someone else will get something out of it. I don't
Right.
know. But there's no reason to be calling people like assholes and stuff. Like, it's just rude. You just don't need to. You don't gotta do all that.
Right,
You don't have to.
Well, thank you very much, Eric, for
Yeah,
coming
of course,
on
man.
here.
This was fun.
Yeah, I really appreciate you coming on, and I would love to have you back sometime if ever needed.
Yeah, that'd be great. No,
All
it's-
right. Well, thank you, Eric. Eric really was a great person to have on here. I think he had a lot of interesting takes, especially talking about the more positive side of social media. I think things can get a little too negative when in regards to talking about social media, but he talked about some great things like how it kind of serves as like a time capsule for yourself and your friends, and how it can actually help bring people together regardless of whether you see each other or not. That like drifting friends can still see each other post and just be able to interact and start a conversation to keep the relationship still alive. Now, our next guest will be Kaya Englert, who is my dear, dear roommate and also a freshman here at Bloomsburg. Also, he has a lot of very interesting takes on social media because he doesn't really use social media as much as everyone else. He doesn't have the traditional Instagram, uses other more obscure forums for his way of talking, and I think it'll be a very interesting take from him, and I hope you enjoy. And I'd like to now introduce our next guest, Kaya Englert. Hi, Kaya. Tell us about yourself.
Hi, I'm your roommate.
Yeah.
I'm a freshman here at Bloomsburg. I'm dual majoring in audio speech pathology and communications. No minor yet, but we'll see how it goes.
What social medias do you use or have you used in the past?
I use a bunch of oddball apps. I know you've probably had people on here who use things like Instagram, Facebook, whatever. I don't do that anymore. Instagram, I just didn't care for it. So I stick to kind of more forum-based apps that have a less centralized community but are more topic-based. So I use Reddit, Tumblr, a lot of self-contained forums like Coaster Buzz, Park Fans. I use Snapchat for my mom and Pinterest. Lots of Pinterest.
Well, that's interesting. So, how about we get into it, shall we?
Okay.
So, how do you feel social media has impacted your relation to others? And then, how has that affected you?
Back when I used Instagram, I would see pictures of my friends partying all the time. And I live that sober grind set. I don't I don't drink, I don't smoke. I'm a pretty straight-laced guy. So it would just kind of bother me. It would just make me roll my eyes and be like, okay, well, I didn't want to see that. Like, what do you want me to do? Call your mom or something?
right.
So it just was enough by the end of senior year that I just uninstalled the app. And, like, I don't think I've ever been on social media and have been like, wow, I really think more positively about this person now that I've seen their intimate life. Like, so yeah.
Do you think maybe seeing too much of someone's life is easier to go negative or positive in your
I don't
view of
think
them?
it's necessarily seeing too much of someone's life.
Mhm.
I think it's that generationally we've become very vapid. So we think that presenting ourselves as partiers, socially, like, bound, etc., awards, like, we don't really post enough day-to-day goofing off, like,
Right.
routinal stuff. People want to glamorize themselves, and that bothers me. So I don't even think it's the amount of information we get. I think it's the selective choice of information that bothers me.
How has social media impacted the way you see yourself, physically or otherwise?
Back when I was on social media, like, young, like 7th grade, I didn't really care. Like, I would look at the way that people posted themselves, and I would just kind of be like, well, that's not me. So, like, it was never really a thing. And probably as I got older, I was a little more self-conscious, like, ooh, do people wear Vans now? Am I supposed to be wearing
Right, right.
Vans? But I didn't really stick around long enough for that. So it didn't affect me much at all.
That's interesting. Have other people's trips, whether it be abroad or whatnot, affected you in any way?
I think we all have that annoying friend that traveled abroad and thinks that the way that they pronounce mozzarella is better than the way that you pronounce mozzarella. And I've totally fallen out of touch with a couple friends who decided to travel abroad and thought that it was an excuse to not keep in touch anymore.
Mhm.
But I don't really see posts about it because by the age that we were all traveling abroad, I uninstalled
Right,
most
right, right.
things. So I didn't see that.
By that point, it's like,
Yeah, by that point, it's like
you
I
weren't
didn't.
seeing anything.
I wasn't seeing anyone on the beach on Spain or whatever. Like I was,
Right,
I was moving on.
Right. Now, what kind of posts do or I guess in this case, did your friends usually post? Whether it be like quality or like how many people? How do said different types of posts like change how you feel?
I kind of already touched on a lot of parties. I think we were kind of a party high school. We went to the same high school, and there wasn't much to do around there other than go to Target, smoke, and then go home. So it was a lot of going to Target, smoking, and going home posts, and those just weren't interesting to me, especially because it's like, as someone who's pretty sober, it's like, okay, so you guys are just all engaging in an activity and glamorizing something. I'm just not interested. It'd be
Right.
like having a feed full of cars if you bike to work every day.
Right,
Like,
right.
it's just not
But you have to see
interesting.
them because they're your friends and it should,
right.
you
So
know.
it's just like I decided that it wasn't worth it. I wasn't getting jealous because I don't party and I never really wanted to party. It was just more of an annoyance that it's like,
You have to see the stuff you don't want to see.
yeah, it's just like, okay, these people aren't catering to my interests. I don't need to see anything from them.
Mhm.
So I just uninstalled it. I do have friends on a few forums I'm on anymore, and they're all much older than me. Like I have a friend, Jeff, on Coaster Buzz. Shout out to my guy Jeff. He's like 40, and he just has Six Flags shares. So anymore when we talk, it's always on a public open forum, and we're talking about the topic that the forum's about. And I
Right.
think that keeps it very streamlined. And sometimes nitty gritty and personal life details do get in there, where it's like, oh, well, when I took my wife to Cedar Point before we divorced, and I'm like, that's awkward. I wasn't even born then.
Right.
But most of the time, it's centralized around one topic, and that really helps me because it's like, I don't know you as my friend from middle school that now parties all the time. I know you as the cool guy I met on a forum that divorced his wife
Right,
in
right.
2005.
Right. Now, have you ever got like FOMO from seeing any of these posts?
I wouldn't say I've ever gotten FOMO from anything like that. It was more just like, stop doing that. Like, I'd see my friends who I knew were on like SSRIs and stuff, and I'd be like, hey, don't mix alcohol with that, you know?
Right. Yeah.
So I couldn't say I ever had FOMO from it. I mean, sometimes I see someone that's like at Ohio, and I'm like, man, I want to go to Ohio. But it's like it's never out of my reach.
You want to go to Ohio for the roller coasters?
Yeah, you're right. It's like never out of my reach though. Like sometimes on the Bath and Body Works subreddit, I see people who are at Bath and Body Works, and I'm not like, oh, fiddlesticks, I could never go to Bath and Body Works. Like I guess I amuse myself with the mundane,
Mm-mm.
so I'm never like FOMO. I'm amused by the mundane and like content with that.
Do you think of yourself differently whenever you interact with social media posts?
I think that because a lot of the communities I'm in are predominantly, not to call anyone out, cis, straight, middle-aged white men centered.
Right.
That I kind of need to act like a cis, straight, white, middle-aged man. And I'm not a few of those things. So
Right.
it is, I don't see myself differently, but I am able to kind of
Your persona changes.
kind of chameleon myself a little
Right.
bit.
I think everyone does though.
Yeah.
I think that's just a part of
Well,
dealing
it's
with
like,
different social
when
situations.
I'm talking to the RuPaul's Drag Race subreddit,
Right.
I can be like, slay girly pop, kill your boots, right?
Mm-mm.
If I said that on Coaster Buzz, I would probably get called a slur, no offense. So it's like, I think everybody needs to change their persona, but I think I just do it like a little bit more drastically.
No. I think that's normal. I think people, like just change how they interact and change their word choice based on who they're around, and I think that's normal. But
Yeah.
I think it is something interesting. The media of social media,
Medium
the
of
the
whatever.
medium of social media definitely changes how often someone might have to switch those personas.
Yeah, totally.
Now, has there ever been something you've really liked but have been turned off to by social media, or vice versa?
I'm gonna be honest, this is probably my greatest strength as a human. No.
Mm.
No. When I like something, I like it. And sometimes I'm like, I hide it from the general public because it's like, you know, maybe you like an artist that most people don't like. Or like maybe you like modern art. Modern art, especially, is something
Yeah.
people hate. They choose to slam on it. Well, I could have made that. Okay, but you didn't. You didn't make that, and it's not in a museum, and you don't have any leverage there. So I don't let it influence me. You know, on the roller coaster forums, people are like, this ride has to go. It's a kiddie ride, and this ride is stupid and rough. If I like it, I like it.
Mhm.
I don't really let people assuage me in my beliefs on social media. That's not. I think it's childish when people do.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to not be so easily swayed by other people's opinions. I think that's a good trait to have. Now, on to our last question. Are you less afraid of confrontation, or do you handle confrontation differently while using social media?
This reminds me of the other day I was on the Pokemon Go subreddit, and there was a guy who asked a really dumb question. And he said, I asked ChatGPT. And I commented, I was like, oh, well, if ChatGPT didn't know it, then none of us could possibly even estimate what kind of like, I was snarky about it. But in general, no. I don't argue on social media. I think it's stupid, it's pointless, it gets you doxxed half the time.
Yeah.
Especially if it's political, it's like, okay, well, yeah, I don't need you, like, shouting my IP address at me, so.
Right. People are very quick to.
To get super confrontational, especially as a queer person, it's like one day you can be living your life, the next some random stranger from Reddit has a gun pointed at your head.
Right.
So I don't really. Some people call it paranoia. I call it privilege. I just choose not to argue on social media. I think it's dumb. Just scroll. You're giving them engagement. You're giving them money, brownie points. Just leave.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Kaya, for coming on. I really appreciated having you on here.
I didn't have a choice. I'm your roommate.
Yeah, but I mean, I thought you were really great, and I think you'd be wonderful to have back again. So, well, thank you very much. Much with the others, Kai was a very, very lovely guest to have on this podcast. He brought a lot of interesting topics like the urge to glamorize certain social media topics, but also the idea of changing personas in various social situations. With being online, the social situations can be so nuanced and so different, and you switch so fast. Like, one second you can be talking to a group of your best friends, the other second you can be talking to a bunch of, in this case, old white guys about roller coasters. And I think it is just very, very interesting to see how real life things like this changing of persona can be put in place for things like social media. So I would say, in conclusion, social media has really had a large effect on all of us, and for better and for worse, with Sarah talking about body image and how that can be enforced on little girls early on, or more positive lights like how Eric talked about the time capsulization of certain posts. And once again, going back to a more negative side with Kaya talking about the need for glamorization, but also just a unique take on, hey, persona shifting does happen, especially now in social media where you interact so specifically. That is all for today. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.